Welcome back to the lab. Hey, it's Thursday night. I'm calling it Good Eve. Why am I calling it Good Eve? Because something good is happening tomorrow. Really good, actually. The owner for the Gloria, he's going to be on a bus. He's going to arrive in Hamilton. I'm going to go see him at the bus station. He's going to drive the car. So this beastie is essentially finished. There's one or two tiny little things to sort out, but we're road legal. Customer's turning up tomorrow, like I say. He's going to drive it away. Now, there's quite a lot of stuff to put in the car. That's about half of it. So that'll be an interesting test for it. It'll drive away quite heavily laden. We've a couple of little changes in here you might have noticed. We stepped it up a bit. I didn't want to put these bits on until the end because they get all scratched up. But there you go. There's our cam covers. Our cam cover covers that I made. The customer got the stainless steel plaque, I guess you'd call it, on the top there. He got those laser cut down in Wellington, sent them up here, but I've done everything else, obviously, and then got them powder coated by Boss Powder Coating. Those guys are doing a good job for us on time and all that. Had a look for a black Breakmaster cylinder cap. Could not find one. Kind of thinking there might actually be one on the Bedford, ironically. Been driving around all over town looking for one, and better go pop the bonnet on that and have a look. We'll paint this tomorrow morning. Got to get that done. There's been other priorities, right? So I've been sorting out the idle, which goes a bit hectic at when the temps get up. And there's a small oil leak propagating here somewhere. You can see the dust is sitting on top of the chassis rail there. So there's a tiny little oil leak somewhere under this cover that I need to look into and sort out. But that's not a biggie. That'll be taken care of tomorrow morning. It might be a bit of an early start to make sure we get everything done. Inside there, look at that, center console. She done. So this is a special textured powder coating just to try and make it look a little bit more like that. So I think we're not bad. It's kind of similar. Originally that was going to be covered in vinyl or something like that, vinyl fabric. He kind of changed his mind after he made it, but it's come out okay. I'm quite happy with that. That's all right. We've got the speakers in the doors here. Ta-da! That's done. Stereo's all working. Carpet, of course. Put the carpet in. Don't mind the cable there. I was just fiddling with the idle before. That carpet is ruined. It doesn't really fit the car properly, but it'll do for now, right? And you can use it for a template, what works and what doesn't. The boot here is all looking not bad with the carpet in there, but a bit gloomy back here, isn't it? There you go. It's a bit more light. That carpet is also ruined. It looks like maybe there's been a dead body in here or something. Who knows? Bit of oil or something on there. This could do with a little bit of a polish. I'll see if I have the time for that tomorrow. Probably won't. And of course the whole car is... She's a bit dirty. So definitely have to... All the time, effort, money that's gone into it. That definitely needs a clean before tomorrow. Alright. It's good day. Otherwise known as Friday. The Friday that the owner finally comes to drive this beastie away. Oil leak sorted out and under here. So the plastic cam cover had a few scratches on the outside corner about here somewhere. They didn't look anything significant, but after a period of time driving around, it turns out one of those scratches was actually a deep enough gouge that it had just penetrated through into the interior of the cam cover. And so it was just fuming, like residue. It wasn't massive drips. It was just blowing air out while it was boosting. And that's, compression gases that get into the crankcase ventilation system. And it was just drifting it out in this general area. So as I showed you, there was some bugs and stuff stuck on top of the chassis rail there. Just a thin film. Anyway, a bit of epoxy plastic resin done. She's fixed. If he wants to buy a brand new cam cover, you can. Now this cap here, that looks all brand new and black, I tried to find one in black and I couldn't. It's an aftermarket reservoir, Master Cylinder BM57, and it's not the same as any of the Nissan ones or anything like that. Like, there'll be one somewhere, probably, but you'd end up having to buy a whole master cylinder new to get it. So that has been painted. A little bit of a tight ass / cheap way around it, but realistically it's going to be fit for purpose, right? It might get a bit scratched up long term, but then again it's only VHT, and he can just have another crack at it and sort it. Fuel pressure regulator, look at that, he's black now, it's not red anymore. Look at that, that's actually not bad. We have one thing in here that stands, oh, two things actually, I've just seen the second. Two things in here that stand out as being a bit sort of the wrong colour, the wrong feng shui. Dipstick. He can do something with that later on. He can get someone to custom fabricate a dipstick for him that's got a nice bling aluminium knob on it. And that sticker on that diaphragm there. There's a solution for that. Hold on a second. What sticker? Are we live?
Nice knowing you. Tell his wife he loves her. Oh, that's it. Enjoy your ride. Hang on. Right, after our little delay in proceedings, try the era. It's like a Corolla. Third gear synchro is really suspect. If it crunches into third, oh yeah, that's not me, that's the car. Just a dabble on the throttle there. Cones, are these to drift around?
No, they're just taking out the guard by the looks.
A little bit of the wheel spin there. Dodgiest intersection in the world. Do we still stop? Oh.
He's not supposed to turn that way.
Yeah, I think it's fast enough.
I don't know.
More?
So, what's wrong with this picture? Although we shouldn't play that game because apparently some people aren't really sure how it should be played and it causes some kerfuffle online. Never mind. When Glenn says we should change this part because they cause problems and they quite often fail and it's actually not that easy to replace it later if it does fail, we should change that part. We should not take the other option. In fact, Glenn should not give the other option at all and just say we're changing that and just that's that. But in this case, that didn't play out quite like that. So, customer gets in car. 3 gear changes later with the customer behind the wheel and the clutch. Slave cylinder has failed. Don't! So anyone who knows anything about Nissans knows that the concentric slave cylinder that they put inside the bell housing on these CD009s and variants of are absolute rubbish. They're made from plastic. They fail left, right and centre. There's kits available from various suppliers to replace these with an external slave, traditional external slave. In there, fluid coming out of slave cylinder, bad. Bad. Exhaust system has come off, both sides. I've just got this bank off here so that we can have a look in there. It's about 3 o'clock on the Friday, so I'll carry on. I'll get this all to pieces tonight. Got to take this side off, got to take the steering shaft off to get this one off. Not the easiest thing in the world to do, but not as hard as the March, fortunately. Shifter mechanism. That's a GK Tech one. Pretty good device. That works very well. Got to take that off out of the way. A few bolts. Gearbox will be out and we can get to our slave cylinder. Now there's none in the country that I can find quickly, at least, to replace that with just bolt in the original factory thing, which would fail anyway because they're all junk because they're made of plastic. Important things in cars that are hard to get to should not be made from plastic. Did I say it was made from plastic? That's why it's failed, because it's made from plastic. Anyway, let's laugh about it. That's all you can do, right? So the customer got 3 gear changes, I think. He tried to change into 5th. It wouldn't go into 5th, so you can call that whatever. So from start, so engaged in 1st, changed to 2nd, so that's 2. You got 3rd, 4th, 4 gear changes, isn't it? Whatever, he pushed the pedal a few times, it failed. I drove it back without the clutch, which was surprisingly easy if you get the revs at the right range. It wasn't that far to go. There weren't that many gear changes to worry about. It was, I think, 3 times we had to start it with the starter in 1st, which it does with absolutely no problems at all. Just cranks and fires up and wheel spins in 1st gear, but that's fine. So it's back here. It's on the hoist. I've lost my bloody weekend. It happens. Did want to earn some more money for the thing we're not talking about, that one there. So, hey, it'll work out. We'll get it done. It'll be better. So, that's where the concentric slave cylinder lives on these. As you can see, it's a bit hard to see. I'll hold that in the right spot. There we go. You can see the little drip coming off just here. She gone. She failed. So I'll take that off. It's done anyway. I'll take it off. I'll see if we can get it apart. I've taken them apart before. Pretty sure it's not too much of a drama. And see, just to confirm really, what's failed. It's this funny thing going on here. Grease. Oh, well done. I got a dirty finger. Oh no! So it's actually a little while later, after taking the clutch slave cylinder out of the Gloria, who shall not be framed in this particular video because I'm grumpy with it. No, I'm not. It's all good. We've decided to sort out a few other things while we're at it. So I took the gearbox apart to figure out why she was a little bit crunchy into 3rd gear. As it turns out, somebody else has had that gearbox apart and they've put it back together with a piece of 3rd gear synchro completely missing. There's supposed to be 2 brass rings in there. There was only 1. So there's no surprises there at all. I've got some gearbox bits sitting on the bench. Hang on a second. Didn't actually have, I thought that set there had what I was looking for. This is actually a Navara 6-speed box, which are very, very similar to the 350Z, but not the same. This is the actual unit, right? So this is 3rd gear is down here. So if we take this out of the way, we see our, don't mind the bearings falling out there. That's fine. We'll put that back in there. Put that back in there. Bench isn't perfectly clean. Should be ideally. You don't want crap like that getting in your gearbox. However, this gearbox will all get cleaned before it goes back together. The whole workshop's going to have a tidy up. I've got a lot of things that need a clean environment for reassembly. Not so bad for disassembly. So, 2 brass rings, right? We can all see that. Here's one. Here's another inside. The other one with a steel ring. Oh, here I am trying to judge what I'm doing through the video screen again, which is actually exceptionally difficult due to the delay. So this is 4th gear set. And carefully lie that down there and hope it doesn't all fall to pieces. What's wrong with this picture? Where's the bit that's supposed to go in there? It's not there, eh? So that's why it was a bit crunchy into 3rd gear. Who knows what happened there? Look, it could be a factory fault. They get it wrong sometimes, and things get... Can't talk while I'm thinking. I'm a man. Men can't do that very well, apparently. You know, things can... Let's put this around the right way, shall we? Put that on there. And we'll put that back where it was. Nicely tucked away from all the mess. Things can be put together wrong by the factory, and then the factory suppliers or whatever, and then they get taken out through warranty, and they're supposed to go in scrap metal bins, and occasionally they find their way back out into the rest of the world where us plebs are, and then somehow 7 or 8 hands down the line it ends up in my workshop causing problems for me. But that's just the way it goes. Alternatively, someone's pulled apart this gearbox here, we'll talk about this in a second, which looks relatively new and good condition and all that sort of carry on. Still had the factory sticker stuck on it about here somewhere. Someone's had it apart, put it back together, and forgotten to put that synchro ring in there. So that could have happened. What is this, you might ask? Well, this is the thing that lives in here. So engine out, gearbox out, everything out pretty much. The whole back end, all the stuff and things that live back here, all extracted, disassembled, as you can see conveniently through our transmission tunnel there. And again, not so critical to do this part of the job in a super clean environment. Very, very good idea to have a immaculate workshop when that all goes back together. We have a couple of Super Tech block guards on order from Z1. They go in this gap here. They stop these things going wobble, 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 wobble with the pistons going up and down at high power. So that'll sort out our little thing we had with our head gaskets. Speaking of head gaskets, they're on the bench here. And I'll make no secret, these were second handies. These were what were in the front wheel drive block. Took it all apart, put some CRC copper coat on them, and put them all back in there. Not ideal. You wouldn't do that if it was a customer's vehicle, but for mine, and time constraints and stuff, I just got it done, right? So these are only like 100 and, don't quote me on it because I'll get it wrong, 180, 170, whatever, US dollars. So let's say $300 for a pair of these landed. So obviously we have new ones on order. We have a lot more time to sort it out this time than what I did when this went back together the first time around. So you can see, very, very shiny. No, whatever we're going to call this surface here, Teflon, I believe it might be. None of that left in most places. Because the bores were going, and it's just worn it all away, right? So, and I would show you the cylinder heads. They're not here. They're away getting dealt with, stuff and things. So you could see that there was uneven pressure, uneven clamping pressure on there. So we'll deck the heads. We'll put our block guards in here. We'll get the block decked. I'm considering getting it line board as well. I've got a new girdle to go under the crank. The crank is just recklessly lying on the floor and amongst all the muck down there, but that's fine. As I say, everything will get cleaned up later. That's okay. That'll be good to go again. A little polish, no problems there. Somewhere on the crankshaft where the oil pump goes here. Not concerned about it. Not a big deal. Do have another crank. Again, recklessly lying on the floor over there. That one's mint. If I measure this up, which I haven't done yet to be honest, and I see any issues with it, I'll look at dealing with the other one over there. The thing is with that, it needs to be balanced up to the pistons, which are carefully tucked away under paper and cardboard and everything in the box there. I've looked after those. Turbotargers. Something happening there. I will go into details later when I get my hands on them. I've given it away, haven't I? Yeah, there's bigger ones better ones more flowy ones coming. We'll get into that later when it turns up. We won't spoil all the fun just yet. No, I'm not doing cams. I'm doing valve springs, but I'm not changing the cams. Cams are in there actually, tucked away with the pistons and stuff. Again, wrapped up all nice and safe. Look after them. While we wait for pieces to come for the Gloria, which include It's gone. I put it away. The third gear synchro set from Z1 Motorsports, that's coming, and also a aftermarket concentric slave cylinder kit is coming for that as well. While I'm waiting, it's Saturday. It's a bit yuck out there, it's a bit horrid, so we're gonna fire up the old semi-reliable milling machine, and some of these things that don't need to be here anymore, I'm going to take them away. I might move 500 grams out of the car, but that's another bottle of V or can of Coke that I can have before I go on the track. I think that's it. You're up to date. More to come. Cheers, boy. Nom 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 nom. Eat, eat, eat.